All right, and welcome back. Good evening, everyone. We are in the upper bracket of 5-digit United States Cup 2026 quarterfinals Major League. We got SoCal versus Kentucky for tonight's matchup. I am your host, Bless. Joining me is Jameson. And oh boy, do we have a match tonight. Jameson, looking forward to this one. How are you feeling?
Feeling okay. We're going to have a long few hours ahead of us this evening. A lot of matches coming up, and this is the first of them, or well, rather the second of them. Sorry, we just had a match play on the H stream not so long ago, just a few minutes ago.
Yep, and we are going to be continuing right into the action. Already in with the bands, as we will let those roll, as the players have already rolled, the teams have already rolled. SoCal yet to drop a single map this entire tournament. 5-0 against Puerto Rico into 6-0 against Massachusetts. And yes, that Seed 2 is speaking for itself. And meanwhile, Kentucky, clean first round against South Carolina into a very close upset match against Florida A, going all the way to tiebreaker for in what was a very exciting affair. And here they are up against seed number 2. Gonna have to make a very big upset if they want to continue this incredible run they have had so far. Both of these teams on a bit of a downswing year on year, but this year does look to be very good for them. Kentucky always seeded in the lower half of the tournament, and just last year even going out 0-2. But some big roster changes, dropping Zeno, dropping Sharo, dropping Mr. Sparkle Pants, and back in with Sir Shy Lordy, in with Isaiah, and in with Brown, or back in with Isaiah, and back in with Sir Shy Lordy. Sir Shy Lordy showing some really strong performances on the hidden, especially in this past RTT earlier this year, but it's hard to say how much that's going to mean when the rest of your team is so mechanics oriented and you're also going up against what might just be the best hidden team in the entire tournament. SoCal. Of course, California as a state as well, always such a strong hidden team. All the reading players over there year after year after year. And this year is no difference, of course. Crickard coming back up to A-team. And joining him is Hygeo, of course, still having JKD. And even Zefkiel coming over from Massachusetts, now living in SoCal, making that his state. We do have the bans coming out already, and it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any reading bans, in fact. It's going to be the Hard Rock 2 and the DT1 from SoCal, as Kentucky go for a DT3 and a Hard Rock 3.
Yeah, kind of surprising that we don't see any reading bans from Kentucky. I mean, I guess Kentucky maybe has practiced the reading maps so well that they feel like they can match SoCal on it, but SoCal, one of the strongest reading teams in the tournament. I mean, one of the strongest teams, period. SoCal, Speed 2 for a reason. As you mentioned, they haven't dropped a point yet, and I mean, their roster is just ridiculous.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Cat Food missing this past year. As the players have a little bit of a joke with a easy hidden tiebreaker pick. Thanks to our ref for going along with that one. That's a good bit. For those of you who don't know, Cat Food missing last year's 5USC, but played in the previous year for A-team for SoCal. In fact, 2 years in a row of SoCal A for him. Taking a break last year from tournaments and now coming back this year. Also played in 5WC26 A-team, if I'm remembering correctly. So definitely some incredible skill cap on him, and he's definitely de-rusted since a bit of a weaker performance in RTT. And then, of course, you're bringing over Zefkiel from Massachusetts, their star player last year. You're bringing in Hygeo as well, who's also playing for Oklahoma in Big Boy USC right now. Speaking of which, they are in the losers bracket semifinals, if I'm remembering correctly, if not finals. They're making some serious splashes. Of course, they also have one of the biggest breakout talents of the year on their team, course, TTV UFO playing alongside him is going to do wonders for your tournament results. But of course, just being on that roster just speaks to the level of skill that Hygeo brings. And of course, you have your evergreen SoCal players, Crickard, JKD, and even a newcomer, Choke, who has put up some really good mechanic scores. Maybe a little bit of a weaker link when you're comparing him to the absolute nuclear arsenal of nuclear bombs that you have on this roster for SoCal, but still, like, you're comparing them. You're comparing Choke the newbie to who they are. I mean, we are getting into this first pick for SoCal. It's going to be Hygeo, Zefkiel, and Crickard in for the Hidden 2 against their Shy Lordy and Izia and Shepsu. And I was actually a little bit worried about this pick for SoCal, given the practice nature of the map. And as you mentioned, I do think Kentucky has put in some practice on this one.
I believe this was Kentucky's first pick. I'm not sure why it's showing this is SoCal's pick. I believe this is Kentucky's pick.
Just have to get a double check on that after the map. But yeah, as you mentioned, this map, and also the other, in fact, both of the reading maps in this pool, incredibly practicable. Easy one, you just put in a ton of practice, you just make a bunch of practice tips, put in a bunch of reps on them, and eventually you'll learn the map. You can just memorize it. It's TV size, less than 2 minutes long. And this map also, as long as you have some baseline AR8 comfortability, which Kentucky definitely does have, as we're seeing here with the double FC, some Sir Shy Lordy and Shepsu at the moment. You have that baseline comfortability, and you can just sort of try and memorize the ending, but unfortunately, the baseline comfortability failing them at the moment. Izia and Shepsu finding some breaks in this earlier section of the map, the first half. Meanwhile, SoCal still holding a 3-way FC.
Yeah, I mean, SoCal so solid at this reading pick. That's why I was so surprised to see Kentucky first picks this. And yeah, I did double check on the ref sheet. It is Kentucky's first pick this map, which is why I changed to blue just now. But SoCal holding a very strong 3-way FC. As I say this, Hygeo being the first one to drop for their team.
Yeah, but you're still looking at these two other members, Zefkiel and Crickard, holding on so strong, incredible accuracy. As we go into that last tricky section, so Shy Lordy holding on to the FC, reading the rhythms correctly. He did practice the map, and it looks like Shepsu did as well, but unfortunately, this map is just far too gone. It was over around 30 to 40 seconds ago, with Aizu and Shepsu just struggling a little bit too much in the early parts. So Shy Lordy will choke the FC right at the finish line, but Zefkiel and Crickard to close out theirs, and that is an early break point for SoCal.
Yeah, I think that might be #1 on the Hidden 2 this weekend. That team score from SoCal. If
Maybe.
not, it's damn near close. I don't think we've seen a triple FC, so I'm pretty sure this is #1.
Yeah. I mean, there's still one other California team to play this weekend, so maybe we see something there, but it's going to be tough to beat this score for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just a crazy, crazy score, especially because they all have very good accuracies as well. This is kind of sneaky hard to hack if you're not very comfortable on the Hidden.
It definitely is, and mostly because of the ending part. But there are a couple of tricky rhythms in the first half of the map as well. And excuse me, there's actually 3 more SoCal or California teams to play. SoCal B coming in an hour after this one at 0 UTC, NorCal A up against Pennsylvania A at 1 UTC, and SoCal C at 1:30 UTC. So, I mean, I don't know if SoCal C is going to be the one to beat that one, but SoCal B and NorCal A definitely have the firepower to contest. But we are going into SoCal A's next pick here.
Why is the winner on the... You know what? I'm going to fix that real quick.
Interesting UI bugs. Okay, looks like we do have that fixed, and yeah, after a dominant performance like that on the Hidden, I think you do just go into the Hidden 3. This is your mod slot. This is
why
your...
Why is it the... Ah!
I think you need to reset the thing in Tosu to next pick as California, or maybe manually set it, and then now you set it to the next pick would be Kentucky.
Right.
Yep, and then but yeah, when you win Hidden 2 in that convincing of a fashion, the entire Hidden pool does just become your playhouse, if not at the very least the Hidden 3. Of course, sometimes the Hidden 1s will be a little bit different, being more focused on the aim mechanics, but this Hidden 3 definitely heavily SoCal favorite at the moment after what we just saw.
Yeah, especially because this is kind of like a skill cap hidden pig. Like, this is definitely the hardest hidden map out of the three, in my opinion. And SoCal, I mean,
sure.
just look at their roster. They can skill very, very well into the hiddens, and I'm just not as confident in Kentucky's ability to play these super hard hidden maps, especially one of this skill set, the alt tech hidden 3. Something really that tests your comfortably on the hidden mod.
Yep, definitely a big hidden comfort check as well as the skill cap. And yeah, the SoCal team going to be very comfortable well into the later stages of this tournament, putting up multiple FCs or damn near close. And we'll have to see how they do on this one, but it's going to be a rough one for Kentucky. We're still looking at Sir Shiloh had put up some good numbers, and Izia also on that Kentucky USC roster, of course, already eliminated at this point of the tournament, but he did make it there for some all-roundedness and also being able to fill on the gimmick. That was a pretty important part of his.
You cut out there at the end, but yeah, Isaiah, a very good player.
Yeah, up in the real big leagues.
Yeah.
He was a very important gimmick fill member up in the real big leagues in our Big Brother tournament, the USA States Cup. But here we are into things. We're going to be keeping our eyes on Sir Shiloh and Izia for the most part for Kentucky to try and make something happen. It's going to be Zepkiel to find the early break, trade out by Izia. So it's Crickard and Hydro up against Sir Shiloh at the moment. And we're going to need a couple of low rolls on SoCal, some pretty big low rolls, which definitely are very possible. This map is difficult, and we're going to need to see another Sir Shiloh pop-off performance. Unfortunately, already finding early break, and Izia does as well right before the break.
Sir Shiloh broke? He has an A rank.
Yeah, they broke their combo. They would have had an S rank.
Oh, it was right before the break. Okay, sorry. I looked away from the screen for 1 second, then he broke. But yeah, Hygio and Crickard, very, very comfortable on this type of skill set, both holding the FCs, and that score lead is going to start exploding very soon.
Yeah, and Hygio, I mean, you're a potential support player for TTV UFO and in the big leagues on this kind of map. Of course, he's going to be putting up a 99% FC as we go into the second half, especially on an SR that is relatively low for what he's going to be used to be playing up there. No, he will find the break. Yeah, but it's still Crickard holding on to the FC for SoCal at the moment. Izio dropping a recovery again, and it's just Sir Shiloh up against a 250,000 score lead and a Crickard FC that is not stopping anytime soon. We're gonna need them to break. There's no other way putting it, otherwise this is just going to be a point in SoCal's pocket and a break point consolidated at that, as the supporting scores continue to flounder for Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, Crickard's so comfortable on this. He's a mainstay in the 5-digit scene for a reason. Crickard, extremely good at what he does, and he's showing it off right now with a near almost FC as we head into the last parts of Hidden 3.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. This might just, I mean, the accuracy is a little bit low, and we say low, we're saying 97 is low AC on this map. Oh, he's gonna finally find a break right at the end, but yeah, he has done more than enough work to secure this point. Unfortunately, probably not getting the best individual score on that this weekend, but it's darn near close.
Yeah, it's close. I think we've seen 2 FCs on this map in total on the weekend. I'm not sure on that exact number, but I'm pretty sure we've seen at least 1. But yeah, I mean, that's a damn good score from Crickard.
This is incredible. And also just look at the accuracy from Hydro. Can we just point out for a moment 99.28 accuracy? That's arguably even more impressive than what Crickard just did.
Yeah, I mean, Hygio...
What the hell is that from Hygio?
Hygio is one of the best players in 5USC for a reason. That guy is pretty insane on these types of maps.
Yeah, and Kentucky having a bit of a misstep to start things off. And the client is still bugging out. Wonderful.
Oh, I'll fix that.
Yep, we love Tosu. Yeah, finding a bit of a misstep, picking into the hidden 2 to start things off, and gonna have to look for another angle of attack. Unfortunately, banning out some of the more intense and awkward mechanics maps of this pool. The DT3 high BPM finger control gone, and the Hard Rock 3 swing aim map gone as well. It's probably a couple of maps that you would have liked to pick into, although the Hard Rock 3 is probably just such a... I mean, I don't want to call anything a free FC at on this pool, but for cat food, it's probably pretty darn close. And then you also have JKD as well. Even Crickard can play it. Choke can probably play it. Literally, you have 6 players on the SoCal team that could play the Hard Rock 3.
Yeah, I mean, SoCal's such a deep roster. If one person doesn't feel good on a pick, they've got 2 other people to replace them. So hard to find a good pick in the SoCal, but Kentucky will go with Nomad 2, the kind of happy, flowy stream map. Very different from last round's Nomad 2, which was a very low BPM, heavy flow check.
Yep, this one's still a flow check, but a little bit higher BPM and a little bit less quote-unquote stamina intensive, if you can even call 174 from last week's stamina.
Honestly, this is more stamina intensive than last week's. Last week's had very long streams, but this week you have to at least control your fingers, kind of, and the flow aim is... It's not as hard, but controlling your flow aim along with your tapping can get kind of hard on this map.
I guess there's a couple back-to-back streams, which might be a little bit draining. You only have a little bit of a buzz slider, a kick slider in between the streams to recover some stamina and rest your fingers, rest your wrist. But I don't think this is going to be too much trouble, for us, at least for these players. Like, you're looking at Hatsuratsu, you're looking at Yutsu, and you're looking at Izia. 2 tapping players and an all-rounder. I think they'll be more than comfortable in the tapping requirement for this one. I'm more so worried about the flow aim consistency, especially with some of these Axel decel patterns and the curvature of them. The curvature can get quite tricky sometimes, especially how you snap onto an ending triple into a buzz slider for some of these patterns as well. And Hygio, of course, in for SoCal alongside Choke, and it's going to be cat food. Some people will go to his profile and see some insane flow aim FCs from the 7-star range. So no surprise to see him in for this one now that he is fully derusted from what it seems. Oh, being 18 for SoCal. As I say that,
there's the first break.
Yep, going to be traded out by Izia and Yutsu as well. So once again, Kentucky already down to just 1 FC in the early stages of the map. That's going to be on Hatsuratsu as he faces off against Choke and Hygio. Not a 1v2 you want to be in. And he will go down as well. Right before the break too, is Hygio and Choke still holding on to their FCs. This is looking like another bit of a gloomy pick for Kentucky at the moment. Hygio finding a little bit of a strange slider break there, but it's still Choke to hold, and hopefully they don't end up like their own name would suggest. But even if they were to, I think Kentucky just doesn't have the combos to contest, and we're not even we're just 2/3 of the way through the map. Yutsu holding on to a very nice recovery, a very respectable one, but you're looking at his other teammates, and there he goes as well. And there's just not a lot on the table at the moment for Kentucky, as Choke is still, I mean, there he goes as I call him out. Lots of caster curses today, as Choke will end up choking the FC.
Yeah, but still a very comfortable win for SoCal. Not even particularly close at any point in the map. As Kentucky going to drop another pick here on the Nomad 2. I mean, I can't even blame them. The SoCal team is just so insane. It's hard to find a map that you can win against them.
I mean, it is pretty ridiculous. You're looking at a almost 1 million score gap on the Hidden 2 into a 400k score gap on the Hidden 3. Now a 600k score gap on this Nomad 2. So yet to find a close pick for Kentucky. And not only that, on each of these picks, it hasn't really looked particularly close. Always finding a few too many breaks in the early parts of the map, not really holding on long enough. We'll see a little bit of a recovery come in the middle of the map from one, maybe two players, but it's just not enough. SoCal has already created too much of a gap at that point. And it's just them walking into the goal 3 times in a row now as they do find their second break point and look to consolidate.
Yeah, I mean, SoCal can go so many different directions with this, but they will continue on with the tapping in Big DT2.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of picks in succession regarding the Nomad 2, the DT2, and also a little bit of the Nomad 5. You know, you sort of pick one, you're going to pick one of the others, at least one of the others. Happened a lot of times so far this weekend, and yeah, you win on the 192 BPM Flowim, you go into the 230 BPM Stamina.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of combo games on this map. A lot of low AC FCs that have, you know, won some points that I think some teams maybe didn't expect they would win. So maybe we see one of those situations happen here where SoCal maybe just find a couple unlucky breaks and Kentucky A is able to combo game them.
Yeah, I definitely think Hatsuratsu and Yutsu are able to pull out a good combo game, and I do believe that they can have some decent accuracy, at least above 90 is what I'm hoping to see. Izia probably going to be struggling a little bit more on this, might see a sub 90. We'll see how much they can combo game, but then you're looking at the other side, and it's, I mean, Catfood is, they found a few misses on the Flowim in that last map, but this map is a bit of a different beast. That man is a bit of a different flavor of tapping. And that man is the absolute beast on the high BPM tapping. Used to be known as an incredible speed player back in the day. And 230 BPM, maybe more stamina than speed these days. But definitely well within his wheelhouse. Going to be accompanied by Choke. Of course, just choking away the FC on that Nomad 2. No. And it's going to be Crickard to round out their roster. The nice thing about this map is that it sort of does ease you into things. With this little triples and reverse slider spam at the start, you can sort of get a feel for the BPM. It sort of warms you up with a little bit of finger control into some longer bursts. We see some 7 notes. But gradually, those bursts will get longer throughout the map. We are into the 5, 7, and 9 note burst section. And eventually we'll see some 16 and even 32 note stamina checks into the back half of the map. So far, everyone holding on, and this is a good start for Kentucky. The best they've had so far. No super early misses. This is what you want to see. You need to see them contesting from the moment you get into the map. First big stream test. Everyone passes.
No breaks from anybody so far. Everybody holding so well, and the accuracies on the similar, but there goes Hatsuratsu.
Yep. Kentucky, the first to blink in this Mexican standoff here. And there goes SoCal with the lead, and there goes Yutsu as well, right into the break on the last stream. And the accuracy is getting pretty low as well on both him and Izia. Now checking on the other side, Choke sitting at 88% accuracy, not the best. So going to be looking at Catfood on that 98 and Crickard on the 95 to put in this work, and work are they putting in? 250k, already almost 300k is their lead, and it will continue to grow as long as they hold on to their 3-way FC. Only Izia on the other side with some really good act that I was not expecting from him. 94.5%, but he cannot just sit there and hold on. He needs the other side to break. Big tapping check, and there he goes. 32 notes is just too long for him. Choke and Catfood will go down as well, but Crickard's still holding on to the FC, and this score gap is far too gone. Once again, 600,000 is what we are looking at for SoCal.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky, they had a chance there, but just a couple breaks too many, and SoCal, they run away with it with their a 600k C rank from Choke, which is very impressive, actually. That's kind of insane.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you're talking about with some of these low-at combo games. Like, you know, you sort of just combo the first half of the map. Maybe mash a little bit through that one stream right before the break. And then just mash for as long as you can into the ending through some of the longer bursts. And all of a sudden you have a 600k C rank like we're looking at right here. Do you believe that is an FC for Crick Card that he was able to close out? Just
Yes, I do
some
believe so.
a lot of hundreds and 50s gonna be causing a B rank for him. And yeah, Izia in for speed. It's a bit of a rough situation for Kentucky, but the silver lining, we'll call it, they had a good start for once. Kentucky was holding on until about the halfway mark. They were matching the triple FCs. Unfortunately, just slipping up once again a little too early, but SoCal did break on the DT2. They didn't three-way FC it. They're not invincible on this pool. So there is room for Kentucky.
We've seen a lot of close matches that maybe shouldn't have been so close. Some Titans can bleed, but have yet to draw blood from maybe the biggest Titan of them all.
Of course, looking at New York over on the other side of the bracket, #1 seed, having some struggles these past couple rounds, but SoCal looking cool as a cucumber so far in this tournament. As Nomad 4 is going to be where Kentucky look to have their next battle. Try and get on the board, be the first team to put a cut into the SoCal roster. This is probably just a Hygeo and Crickard map, from what I'm thinking. I don't think
probably play this.
Yeah, Zefkiel is pretty good at the Nomads. That makes a lot of sense as well. I think Choke is probably the least likely to play this as... as I say that, steps into the lobby, okay.
There's Choke,
and you were saying, though?
You wrong. But yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the more accessible maps in the pool. I've said this in previous streams, but honestly, it's relatively easy until the back half of the map. Back half of the map is when it gets really, really hard with those cut doubles and flow patterns. But basically, Kentucky has to hope that SoCal finds some shit misses, because this map is quite shit missable. It's accessible, but a lot of good players have missed on the sliders before the cut doubles, as we have good luck, have funs in the chat, and we should be getting to the watch more shortly.
Yep, it's going to be Shepsu, a little bit more well-rounded version of Sir Shy Lordy, usually in for the hidden gimmick stuff, and able to spread his wings a little further into the tech. And accompanying him is going to be Izia, the all-rounder, and Yutsu, the mechanics player. And for SoCal, it is going to be Hygeo, accompanied by Zefkiel and Choke, looking to prove me wrong. I mean, this map is pretty aim-heavy for a lot of it. You're going to be seeing actually quite a handful of just straight-up 1-2 jumps in certain parts of this map. It does just become an aim map at certain parts of it. And even in this build-up section, we're seeing it. And here we go into the first Ki.
Oh, but Izia is the first to fall again. And Shepsu, so actually it's 3 FCs, to only 1 again for Kentucky. And it's not looking great early on.
Yeah, just as we were talking about last map, how they had held on in the early parts of the map, it's already 2 breaks to come in for Kentucky, and SoCal off to an early lead of about 150k, quickly pushing into the 200k range. Kentucky finally settling on those recoveries, building them up now as Yutsu continues to hold on to his FC. You need more than just 1 FC to take down this giant, as the score is just about 300k as we go into the back half of the map. And this is the diff spike section, but if Yutsu can hold on, and so can his compatriots, and we see some missteps from the other side, still within striking distance, but just barely as we go into the 1-2s and into this last section of the map. The cut doubles and double streams going to be coming up shortly. You mentioned some people missing on the sliders right before them. We're going to be keeping our eyes out for that as Kentucky... There goes Yutsu and Shepsu, and there's a full team wipe from Izia as well. Only traded out by Hygeo, but Choke and Zefkiel running this one into the goal. And Kentucky, unfortunately, not able to do anything on this map either.
Yeah, I mean, this is just devastating right now for Kentucky. Um, this is one of those matches that you just go, yeah, unlucky. What can we do? I mean, look at the team score from SoCal. Like, what
Yeah,
do you do against that?
not much ado about nothing, as they say in the olden days. And I mean, of course, another silver lining for Kentucky being that this is the upper bracket and they have solidly surpassed their best historical performance, seeding into the losers bracket semifinals, even should they lose this one. Their best performance is coming back all the way in 2022 and 2023, where they finished just inside the top 16. That is a quarterfinals round 2 finish, and already guaranteeing themselves something better than that here. And even going from 0-2 last year to this is incredibly impressive for them.
Yeah, I mean, look at it this way. You look at who's in the upper bracket right now. Kentucky's kind of the odd one out. There's a lot of, I believe Sir Shai Lordy said this when the quarterfinal brackets were released, but there's like a bunch of new 5USC mainstays, and there's Kentucky, who have been, you know, I mean, surpassing all expectations for this 5USC, I think, so far.
For sure, they're definitely one of the success stories to write home about in a newsletter. And you do look at the other teams in this bracket: New York versus Indiana going to tiebreaker, NorCal versus Pennsylvania to come later this afternoon, and New Jersey versus Connecticut happening earlier this morning. Connecticut also on a bit of a resurgence, I believe.
Yeah. Connecticut had quite a few good players. Fractured came back. They have Will Stetson now. I mean, Connecticut's a very good team.
Yeah, of course, having that duo of Icania and Alana/ZFR leave after winning in 2024, ranking up to 4-digit where they belong, and 2025 was a bit of a rough rebuild year, still finishing within the top 16, however, still enough sufficient core players, but this year really coming out swinging, making a seeding 6th in qualifiers, and yeah, returning to the top of the scene. But of course, that is neither here nor there. We are in SoCal versus Kentucky in the upper brackets. The loser of this match going down to face Michigan A in the lower bracket. So still a fairly reasonable opponent for Kentucky to try and take down, as they all have already taken down Florida seed 7, a seed ahead above Michigan in their previous match. But they still have one last chance to try and stay in this. It's going to be a Flex 1 pick from SoCal going into some low AR Hyper Precision CS7 AR 8.7. That's pretty tricky, and unlike a lot of Hyper Precision maps, this will take you all over the playfield. It really uses the entire playfield to its advantage, when in low CS maps, or in high CS maps, small circle size maps, you usually see them stick to only certain parts of the playfield, and they tend to move pretty gradually around it. You're not really having a lot of big jumps from one end to another end. But this map does take you all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the hardest maps in the pool, for sure. This is an extremely hard precision map, and in part thanks to, like you said, some of the bigger jumps this map uses. Even though they might take, like, they might be 1-1 gaps instead of 1/2 gaps, they take you, like, cross playfield, and on precision, that can be rough.
Yeah, we're already seeing a little bit of that, some big cursor movements. Not quite cross playfield, but around halfway across. We're going to see an early break from Zefkiel, so the first time SoCal has faltered on the intro like that this match, I believe. Might have seen a couple early misses on the Nomad too, but good start for Kentucky. For them, it's going to be Sir Shai Lordy, their reading player, a Brown, their hard rock specialist, likely in for their precision proficiency, and then Izia, the all-rounder, going to be pretty good on this gimmick stuff, filling for his team. On the other side, joining Zefkiel, it is going to be who else but Crickard, and maybe a bit surprising for the low AR of this map, it's going to be Choke. As, yeah, that's a full team wipe from Kentucky going into this first Ki section. Unfortunate as Crickard and Choke still holding on, and Zefkiel also on a very nice recovery.
Yeah, I mean, it looked so good for Kentucky for a little bit there, right before we entered the first Ki, but a full reset on all of their big combos, and SoCal is solidly in the driver's seat once again for potentially the last map of this match.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly looking like it, and we've seen time and again, even when SoCal falter early, they hold on to those combos for so long. They just do not break. They do not have the weird shit misses in the early part, but just as I was saying that, double break from Zephyl and Choke, it's still 200,000 score in the lead, but Kentucky not having any combos to try and pull this score lead back. It is just a bit of a deceleration, a bit of gas off the pedal as Crickard still continuing forward with his FC.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, there's kind of a chance here for Kentucky, but oh, I was about to say Crickard still on the FC, finally drops it, but I mean, Kentucky just has no recovery.
Yeah, I mean, the good news for them is that there is a bit of a free section at the end, so if they hold through this last Ki and Zephyl and Choke drop their combos, there is a way, but not with Izuya and Sir Shiolodi breaking there, and I think those breaks might be spelling the end for Kentucky in the upper bracket of this year's 5USC.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky, they put up a closer fight on some maps than maybe we expected. I was thinking specifically of that hidden 3. I didn't expect Kentucky to really make it within 500k, but they almost got it. It was about 300k the difference, so not bad at all for Kentucky. Like you said, already outperforming their historical best here in 5USC 2026. So all that remains is to see how they do in the losers bracket next round.
Yep. Izuya likely having hit tab already. A little bit of cursor dancing. He knows what is going on here. He sees everything, what has happened. And Kentucky gonna have to make another run in the lower bracket for now. SoCal still untouched despite their seeding of second in qualifiers. At the moment, they are the undisputed kings of Major League.
Yep, we've seen some Titans bleed, but this Titan seems to be made out of stone, as SoCal yet to have blood drawn from them in 3 rounds of 5USC.
Incredible work from them. And they will be going on to face New Jersey A, who have already taken down Connecticut, excuse me, earlier this morning, 6-3. Gonna be
match.
Yeah, that is very close. We are getting that Seed 2 versus Seed 3 matchup, and we'll have to see if everything plays out according to the script in a little over an hour when we see NorCal and Pennsylvania face off. 4th seed versus 5th seed winner facing New York. But for now, that is what we are looking at in this upper bracket of 5USC Major League. It's SoCal to take another sweeping victory. Congratulations to Zephyl, Catfood, Hygeo, New York, Celesta, aka Crickard, Fishnets, aka J. Katie, who we did not see today, and Choke.
I think that'll be all from us. There's a bunch of other streams that are going to be happening this evening, so tune in. I'm pretty sure the next match is at 0:30 UTC, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check.
We have
we have
one
a
at 0
UTC
UTC.
match. Yes,
Yes.
That's SoCal B versus New Jersey C in the minor bracket. And then 0:30 is Florida versus Massachusetts, and then there's a 1 UTC NorCal versus Pennsylvania for Major League.
Yep, and then after that we have the other SoCal team, SoCal C, playing against Ohio B at 1:30 UTC. So all 3 SoCal teams basically playing in quick succession. And then, of course, a couple more matches at 2 UTC to round out the night. And those are both going to be Texas matches. A team up against Louisiana and C team up against Georgia B. So still got a long night ahead of us. We'll make sure to see you there. So we're going to be maintaining our 100% match streamed rate. Make sure you don't miss any of them. But for now, that has been all from us. I've been blessed. Thank you so much for joining me, Jameson. It's been a delight having you.
Yep, thanks for being here, everybody, and we'll see you later. Peace.
Yep, see you later.